Good morning. I'm live today in Annapolis, Maryland. This is the capital of the state of Maryland, and the building before you is our beautiful state house, where the governor works, flanked on either side by the Maryland House of Delegates and the Maryland Senate. So this is where all the business of the state of Maryland is done. This has always been I don't want to say always. Has been the capital of Maryland since Maryland became a state. Maryland is the 7th state, so one of the original 13 colonies. Originally granted by do I say Great Britain? I think I do. Originally granted by Great Britain, I don't think it was England, to the Calvert family and to the successive Lords Baltimore. So they were the grantees of the land grant that became Maryland. And the city of Baltimore was obviously named after the Lords Baltimore, the Calvert family. The original Lord Baltimore never saw Maryland. He died before he got here. And then his son, and then his grandson, I think it was his son that actually got to be here and see it become a state. But I could be wrong. My historical knowledge of the American Revolution is not as good as it should be in the colonial era. So I need to work on that. And also, I need to wake up this morning. It's very cold, 36 right now here in the capital of Maryland, Annapolis, Maryland. I'm here on the main route, kind of the scenic route into Annapolis. This is Rowe Boulevard, R-O-W-E. It is not Rowe Boulevard, it's Rowe. And this is our state house, often praised as a beautiful example of architecture. You can see, if you can see, the dome. This is not a circular dome, it is an octagonal dome. And it's one of those, I don't think it was influenced by Thomas Jefferson, but Thomas Jefferson liked those octagonal domes. And at Monticello, his estate, you see him using that octagonal dome style. I can't talk this morning. Hello, 1983 life. Hello. Good morning. But it is an absolutely beautiful state capital. It's undergone a few renovations, but more recently, probably in the last 5 or 6 years, a renovation of the dome. So it's quite beautiful. One of the kind of dangers of walking in historic cities like Annapolis, and Annapolis is a fantastic example of historic preservation. One of the dangers is this, the sidewalks. As you can see, many of the sidewalks here are brick, and then there's the cobblestones. So we're going to be extraordinarily careful today. This is the State House of Maryland. It's where the governor does his business. This is the Maryland House of Delegates, our version of the House of Representatives. So there are delegates from each district within Maryland. And then this is the Senate. This is the Maryland State Senate. So we'll walk down here. We'll walk around the State House. This is also a few steps from the United States Naval Academy, which is homed here in Annapolis. And this street is festooned, I guess is a good word, with the greatest flag that there is, the flag of the great state of Maryland, which we will look at a little closer. It's just a beautiful design. It is a heraldic design. Hopefully I'll wake up a little bit. Oh, got it. Section 1983 life. Got it. Yes, that is the section sign. Boy, I remember that from law school. Ooh, there's a flashback. All right, let's get past this stop sign. Good morning, Ben. Hello. Hope you're having a great day. We'll get a little look up here at the State House. I'll stop here just for a second, and then we'll cross the street to Thurgood Marshall Square. We'll wait for this traffic. There's a lot of traffic down here. It's super early. It's not even 8 a.m., but there's quite a bit of traffic here today. So we'll wait for these folks. Well, that driver was awfully kind. She was asking me if I was in her way, if she was in my way. I think she thought I was taking a picture. I can't talk today. I mean, it's not too early for me, but maybe the combination of early and cold. This is where our governor lives, right here. Good morning. And this is why this is the best State House. It just is. It's absolutely beautiful. And this is Thurgood Marshall Square. Thurgood Marshall being the first African American justice of the Supreme Court from Maryland. Honored here. Had a good long life too. He also well known, and here, if you can see in the ground, are etched the important points in his life. But 1955, 1954, Brown versus Board of Education, which was the case that said separate was not equal, and that all children deserve an equal education. What a life. Our airport here in Maryland, our main airport here in Maryland, is named after Thurgood Marshall as well. I like this monument. I think this is a nice monument. And our State House with the Great Seal of Maryland above the entrance there. It's probably hard to see. I know, I need coffee. I do. I had tea. Tea's not doing it. So the Great Seal of Maryland. And I won't, the motto of Maryland is a little strange, and I don't remember it word for word, so I'll probably mangle it. But people mistake it for saying something like, you know, men do the work and women, I forget what it is, but it's womanly words, manly deeds. Something to that effect. I'll have to do some research on that. And here we have an historic marker, this is a circle. This is called State Circle. And then there's a church up the street, which you can't see here, which is Church Circle. So yes, and Maryland was the capital of the United States from November 1783 to August 1784. So for a very short period of time, this was the capital of the United States. The State House is the oldest in the nation, still in use. George Washington resigned his commission here. This is where he resigned as the head of the army before becoming President of the United States. This is also where the Treaty of Paris was ratified to end the Revolutionary War. Really important historic place. But all around the State House, this is why You know, there are many reasons to come to Maryland, but this area is extraordinarily well preserved with architecture dating back to the 1700s, 1800s, 1900s to today. Good morning.
Good morning. And that what's up,
And you will find homes and structures of all different styles. I don't even know what style this is, but wow. It's got kind of the fish scaly, not clapboards, not sure. In the distance, it's 8 a.m. and I can hear our national anthem being played at the United States Naval Academy, just a few blocks away. When I'm walking in Washington, D.C., also at 8 a.m. every morning, the national anthem plays at all government agencies, the embassies, around the embassies. And I can hear it now at the Naval Academy. So I'm going to stop for a second, do the right thing, put my hand on my heart. Excellent. What a way to begin the morning with our national anthem. Good morning, Tommy. Tommy, I can't talk today. I can't today. Okay, now our anthem has stopped. I stopped again because there were some others who stopped out of respect, and I've done the same. So around State Circle is probably the least dangerous of the brick sidewalks and streets. They keep this area extremely manly deeds, womanly words. That's it. Thank you, Ben. They keep this area in quite good shape because of visitors and because of the work done at the State House here. But there are other parts of Annapolis that are a little dangerous. And it just is what it is. It's not neglect. Cobblestones and brick take a lot of care, especially when you've got freezing water, melting water, etc. But just take a look at these examples here. What a nice mix of architecture. Little shops down this street. We'll come back this way, but look, that's a cobblestoned street. I'm always worried about falling on stream. But yeah, look at all these different examples. The brick, Harry Brown's has a stucco front. This is also a place to hang out. Great bars and restaurants within walking distance. Also walking distance to the United States Naval Academy. So you'll often see the midshipmen in uniform walking around. And we want to thank them for their service. I know, I won't slip, I will trip. For sure. I'll do it on camera once. The phone will go flying. It will. But look at this little teeny tiny structure here. And this is the Calvert House. It's a fancy hotel. Lots of weddings there. Conference space there. We'll take a walk down this street, then we'll turn back around and come back. I'm not going to stream for too long. It's really cold. Still, it's really cold. We'll get to the main street. But all of the streets, I mean, every little side street is worth a trip to see the different architectural styles of the buildings. I like federal style. That's my thing. Brick structures with the shutters. But we have these little smaller structures with the clapboards up here. Usually very well maintained. And in May, on May 1st, everyone puts a wreath on their door for May Day to welcome spring. And it's really great to walk around down here in early spring. Here's the back of our state house. Yeah, wreaths on doors and window boxes are a big thing. These have seen their better days. Annapolis pottery, great shop. If you're here, definitely stop at Annapolis pottery. Some really great pieces. All right, we're going to go down this little street to get to Main Street. So this side, this is kind of the back end. Hey, Daryl, we are in Annapolis, Maryland, to take a look at some excellent examples of historic preservation today. It's about it's gone up to 39 degrees. It's 39 degrees now. I'm not going to go through that little alley, but that's our version of like, what do you call it in London? St. Christopher Place. That little sneaky alley in London that connects all the little shopping areas. Yep, we're heading to Main Street, which is called Main Street. That's not always the case in the United States. Yeah, that sidewalk looks dangerous, Daryl. That's what it looks. It looks dangerous. It is. The sidewalks and the streets here are either brick or cobblestones. So I do respect the historic preservation, you know that, except for the streets and sidewalks. All right. So this is Main Street we're heading to. In Annapolis, Maryland. Now, right about here, we're fine. As we get closer to the water, this is an area that floods. And so when we have really, really bad flooding in the area, there's always the danger of damage to some of these buildings, unfortunately. So I'm going to turn around and get the view up the street here. We got flags out today. I'm not entirely sure why, but that's okay. And down there, you'll see some midshipmen way in the distance running. The United States Naval Academy is just a few blocks from here. And during graduation week or commissioning week, this street would be all United States flags. But here we have flags from around the world, which is kind of cool. And the church at the top of Main Street, on Church Circle at the top of Main Street there. Excuse me. All right, we'll head to the water. Hey, Robert, how are you? My skateboard skills. Ha! No. No, but I've coached enough kids' sports to know that when you're going down, go down on your bum and put your hands up. You know, and you see it in basketball. They put their hands up. They don't put their hands down to break their fall, because that's how you break a wrist. And that's also a good reminder for the older people among us. Don't put your hand down to break your fall. You'll just break your arm or break your wrist. So these buildings here with these cute little shops, the general store, Buddy's Crabs and Ribs. Good stuff there. Many of these are original. A handful of these shops are reconstructions because in addition to flooding here, Annapolis has unfortunately had more than its fair share of fires. And it's just the combination of the old wooden structures and just some old buildings. Every few years, I just remember hearing that a building or two here had burned down. So some of these buildings are reconstructions. This is not. This is the Aaron Lee Goodman building, which now has a jeweler's downstairs and Buddy's Crabs and Ribs upstairs. And we'll head over to the water. And yeah, this is dangerous here. And we will head over to the water. And then we'll come back up and then we'll end the stream. Where is that? Greetings from Berlin. Hello, Deluxer. Hi, this is Annapolis, Maryland. This is the capital of the state of Maryland. It is south of Baltimore and east of Washington, D.C., just to put a point on the map. And it's 8:11 in the morning, so not a lot of people out today. But we're taking a look at some historic structures. Not right this minute. I'm just walking my way to the water. And then we'll get back up onto the historic streets in a few moments. Yeah, we still have snow. Look, it's like, it's the nasty, dirty snow. While it did warm up a few days this week, it did not sustain warmth to melt all this snow. So, thank you for your service. Our young men and women of the United States Naval Academy. God bless them. So this is the famous Ego Alley, E-G-O, Ego Alley, here in Annapolis, Maryland. This is where, when you have a new boat to show off, you pull it up here, you spin around, you let all the people cheer and clap for you and be jealous of you. And then you go off back down eventually to the Chesapeake Bay there. But yeah, this is where they all come to show off their boats. And in the summer, this is jammed, absolutely jammed with boats, decked out in lights and people partying and having a really good time. This is our memorial to Alex Haley. Alex Haley wrote Roots. And Alex Haley told the story of his ancestor, Kunta Kinte, who came to the United States here as a slave. And Annapolis, Maryland, unfortunately, was part of that slave trade. And slave ships did come here. And human beings were bought and sold right here. But what Alex Haley did, not just for American history, but for genealogy, was to teach us how to learn about our ancestors and to teach us how to learn from our ancestors. And this is a great, great memorial to him and to his work. Here's another view of Main Street. Sometimes it's better to get a little distance to appreciate all the different styles. Some of these buildings are really small. Tiny little homes, what used to be homes for some of them. Some of them were shops and little office buildings going way, way back. This is our little market square here. Middleton's Tavern, yes, established in 1750. And is still a tavern after all that time. And I do realize, for my friends in Europe, that what we consider history here is just a drop in the bucket in terms of your history. But hey, for us, 1750 is a pretty big deal. Morning. Hey, Daly. Oh, Daly, how cold is it where you are? I'm so sorry. Are you in the negative 30s again today? I know, I shouldn't keep saying it's cold. It's not cold. Oh, somebody told me to shut up. Oh, well. What are you gonna do? McGarvey's. McGarvey's is next to Middleton's. Iron Rooster. Iron Rooster. Breakfast all day. Great, great restaurant. Usually jam-packed. There's one in Baltimore. There's one in Owings Mills. So if you're in the area, get to an Iron Rooster and have breakfast at any time of day. And other bars and shops down here. I'm going to take a walk up this little street for some cool little house action. Look at these little houses. So obviously, to live in Annapolis, especially in one of these homes, there are rules. There are definitely rules about what you can do to the home, what you can do to the area around it, because preservation is important here. Some of these homes are guest houses for those who visit their family members at the United States Naval Academy. And of course, we have our motto, don't give up the ship. This little row of houses. And then get a gander of this one. This is the Shiplap House, only because I'm reading the sign. This is an absolute mansion by the standards of the 1700s and 1800s. So Sprague is UK slang, a recruit. Okay, we call them midshipmen or middies. First year is plebe. So their first year at the Naval Academy, you're a plebe, and then you're a midshipman. One of the oldest surviving frame houses in Annapolis. Shiplap House served as a store and a tavern in the 18th century. Okay. Yep. Those clapboards, those overlapping boards are shiplap. Well, this was a tavern and a store. No idea. I thought it was just a mansion type house. This is where you like get in trouble. So the street is paved, and then you got, for no good reason, cobblestones. I know, they're historic. It's the one historic thing I can't stand. Cobblestones and brick streets. Yep, we still have snow. We still have little globs of ugly snow, ugly, dark, gritty, dirty snow. And in the spring, all of these homes would have wreaths on their doors. And there's the sign of the historic district. So this home, 1921 to 1930. So these are newer. Some of these are newer. It's a mix down this street. Oops. Okay, there we go. See, they popped up out of nowhere. I wish I could zoom out on this camera. This street is so narrow. It's literally, what is that, 9 feet across maybe? The street is so narrow, I can't get a good view of either side. I like this one. We'll take a good shot down the street from the top of the street. This one has to be older. This is Pinckney Street. All right, this is the Hogshead Trades Museum. Okay. All right. I think a hogshead is a barrel of rum or a barrel of beer. Called a hogshead, the barrel, if I'm correct. Look at that. So although we maintain the historic character of these homes, having the different colors, having the homes painted different colors, I think is really great. But yeah, you can see how tiny this street is. See how one car, very slowly can make its way down this street. And there's more cobblestones for no good reason. All right, we'll make our way back up to, I forget which street. I know the street I'm thinking of. I forget what it's called. But along the way, we will admire, I can't officially say some of the oldest homes in Maryland, okay? So we can say some of the best preserved old homes in Maryland, because Maryland has a few other areas that are older than Annapolis. So we have St. Mary's City down in St. Mary's County, Maryland, that was the first settlement. And that is preserved. And that is older than Annapolis. And then we also have some other areas on the eastern shore of Maryland. Good morning.
Morning.
We have some other areas on the eastern shore where early settlers lived as well. And when we say early settlers, we also recognize that Maryland was populated by native tribes before the British and the Europeans got here. And we have the Piscataway and the Potomac and the Chesapeake. And many of our natural features in Maryland, the names come from the Native American names or tribes. So our river, Chesapeake, Susquehanna, in Virginia, Roanoke. There's the Chickahominy, love that one. Allegheny Mountains, all Native American names. But many of our main streets and cities and towns have British names. So in Maryland, Charles Street, Calvert Street, Howard County, and Arundel County, Harford County, Dorchester County, Talbot County, all come from the British who settled here. York Road. What else? Chestertown, Maryland. Baltimore, which comes from the Lord's Baltimore. So yeah. Wait for the, thank you. I appreciate not being hit by a car. The British, I like the British, I do. I certainly do. All right, we're back to our State House. Now, I mentioned that the construction was over on that side, but obviously construction's not over on this side of the State House. So we'll be interested to see what's going on there. And I mentioned earlier that the Governor Calvert Hotel was a great place for weddings, and it looks like they're setting up for one now. Yep, lots of flowers going on there. We'll just take a little jaunt down this last little shopping street here, and then I'll sign off for the day. I wish it had been sunnier, but I'm out right now because it's going to rain for the next 2 days. So this was my opportunity to get out, get a little walk, check out some historic structures before film club today. Now, film club is early today. We're starting at 1 p.m. Eastern time, which is 6 p.m. UK time. And our film today is Rear Window. So if you haven't watched it, hurry up and watch Rear Window. And join us for film club on Stasis Geeks. Let me try that again. Join us for film club on Stasis Geeks channel. I truly cannot talk today. Yeah, tea didn't cut it today. Coffee on the way. Yeah, this street, this does me in. There's a wonderful little bookshop down here, which I think is where we will end the stream. So if you're in Maryland, this is a half an hour south of Baltimore, half an hour, 40 minutes east of Washington, D.C. But Annapolis is a great little place to stop, not just to check out the historic architecture, although if that's your thing, this is the place to be. But all these great little shops and restaurants are a lot of fun. You can visit the United States Naval Academy. They have exhibits and a great museum. If you see a midshipman here walking around or running, working out, make sure you thank them for their service and their future service to our country. And this is a good block to really look at the mix of different architectural styles here. Oh, it's -18. Well, for you daily, that's absolutely warm for you, isn't it? You were -30 yesterday. I can't even imagine. I can't. I know whenever whenever the temperature outside, as reflected in my car, gets into single digits, I always take a picture. Take a look at this one. Look at this one. This is like, I won't say, people call this Victorian. It's not. And I'm sorry, I don't know what style that is called. It's kind of a mishmash. I don't necessarily like it. I think some of these kinds of homes look like, what's the word, hodgepodge. They don't look very uniform. They're not symmetrical. But I can appreciate the style. I can. I don't like it, but I can appreciate it. And again, the different color painting is well done here. And we're at the bookshop. Oh, okay, you want to see a great example of walking to your death? So the trees, it's wonderful that we have trees. But this is what the trees do to the brick sidewalks, right? The roots just completely tear up the brick. Absolutely crazy. But this is Old Fox Books. This is a great bookshop. And this is where I'm going to end the stream because I'm going to the bookshop. Hey, Abe. Abe, you're joining, and I'm just about to wrap up. Oh, there's the bells. It's 8:30. So at 8 o'clock, we heard the national anthem, and at 8:30, we hear the bells. Lots of little churches in this area. Well, thanks everyone for joining the stream. This was a hurry up and stream before it rains. I would prefer a sunnier day. But just a little walk, a quiet walk on a Saturday morning through historic Annapolis, Maryland. I know, Abe, I hope everyone joins us for Film Club on Stasis Geeks channel at 1 p.m. today, Eastern Time, 6 p.m. UK time. That's earlier than usual. And the film today is Rear Window. Hope everyone has a fantastic Saturday. See you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.